Valley Club, the chaotic storms are live in the game. Are they too difficult? Should you push for Zombie Scarlet Witch? And the Ultimate 32 has begun. We're discussing all of these topics and more in this edition of your Marvel Strike Force Weekly News Update. Joining me this week, all the way from the helicarrier, is my brother MobileGamer. And if you're ready for all of these topics and more, then MobileGamer, let them know what to do.
Let's go smash it.
Welcome back to the ValleyFlyin channel. I am ValleyFlyin. This is MobileGamer, and this is your Marvel Strike Force Weekly News Update. We do this every single week, keep you up to date on everything that has happened and is upcoming in Marvel Strike Force. And if you haven't done so already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and ring the notification bell so you know as soon as this brand new video goes up. But it's been a while, brother Mobile. How have you been? How have you been enjoying Marvel Strike Force? And what have you been doing since the trip? Have you been taking all that info and applying it to your alliance and what you're doing in Marvel Strike Force?
It's been like 10 days, right? Yeah. Anyways,
that's
we got
a
a lot of good
lifetime for a
stuff.
content creator, though.
Oh, there you go.
That's like 800 videos between the last time. But anyway, let's get into the game. There is a brand new promo code for the community right now, and it went live yesterday. Did you partake in this promo code, Mobile?
Absolutely. 2 million gold, training materials. You know what's funny is, like, people say, why didn't we get the orange ones? You know, they just would have given us 300 orange ones or 600 purple ones, 6 one way, half a dozen another. So it still works out the same.
What feels better, 300 of the L4s, knowing that that's a top one, or 600 L3s, even if the mount's the same? What is going to feel better for you?
Well, for me, I don't think it matters, but I'm also the same person that doesn't understand people getting excited about stock splits. So, you know, apparently stock splits make people feel good, you know, so I don't know. You
got 2 of that stock instead of 1. It does feel good.
It's the same. It's the same. You know, some people like...
It's a psychological thing, though.
Well, I guess the thing is some people like 6 times 2 equals 12 better than 4 times 3 equals 12. It's still 12, so I don't think it matters.
It's a psychological thing. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. All right,
it doesn't matter.
Make sure you guys enter this as usual with all these codes. Sometimes they don't work right off the bat, so make sure that you are trying again if it doesnesn't work. But this code definitely does work for the broker.
Yeah, you refresh your browser is what I had to do to make it work. So
yeah, that doesn't always work for me. I think it's just where your place is in the queue is what I was thinking. But sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work for me. Refreshing the browser. All right, Command Center. It is going into the game today. Now, what they said, the fight for Nexus Earth multiverse never takes a break with a busy schedule. Strike Commander. It's going to be found in the home screen. Command Center to serve as your go-to location to see what you need to accomplish each day for your events. You'll find a list of events with the left-hand column to choose from, and it should look something similar to this. And then we're going to have a description of the event, including rules, context along the bottom, objectives with clear, easy to understand progression to hit, objectives, milestones, rewards, and to get everyone acquainted with the Command Center, rolling it out with a fresh battle festival. It's going to kick off today, March 27th. So if we go in game and look for where the Command Center is going to be, it should be right under the our raid is in there. It should be right under the normal campaign right here. So I'm expecting later today. This is where it's going to be. What is your expectations for this? Because the way I thought it was described to us is just it's going to be something to make all these events easier. So we could go to this one place. And then all the events that are going on right now, we could just go to that one place, because I'm kind of confused. You know, we got the milestones here. We got some of the events in this event section. We got some of the events in the campaign section. So we have to go through all 3 of these places. I'm hoping that with the Command Center, we just go to this one place, and instead of having to spend 7 different energies through campaign, incursion, the 7th year anniversary, and the rest of them, we could just go to this one place. What are you expecting from this?
Well, I mean, I know what their intent is. Their intent is to not make it garbage like the event section is right now. That is what the point of this is. It's so there's been a lot of questions about this. Like, I was getting 2 or 3 questions as like, what is this Command Center? What is this new event? What kind of rewards are going to be the Command Center? It's UI. It's basically they're consolidating milestones and, like you mentioned, maybe some of the campaigns. It's going to be over time. The screenshots that you and I have seen of it looked really confusing. So we'll have to play with it. Like I was like, I hope it's better, but frankly, there's nothing worse than right now going into the vent center because of the red dots and then not knowing where the energy is hiding.
Oh my goodness.
It's not good. So anything will be better than that. My understanding, so yours doesn't show, the screenshot you're showing here doesn't show it, but on the left-hand side, there's supposed to be like a series of events that you can scroll and then just tap each one individually. And you should be able to scroll through all of the events very quickly with your left thumb. So this picture
this section here is what we saw previously.
And that was in the strike time video. The strike time video showed the tabs all there. Look, and I think you'll be able to scroll through the tabs real quickly and see all the events in one place. So it's somewhat of a non-event as far as rewards and gameplay. It's literally just cleaning up the UA.
User interface thing. I'm hoping this is going to be
UI.
big.
Yeah.
I'm hoping this is going to be big though, because I get confused and I don't want to click here,
right,
all over the place for these dots. I'm hoping this just puts it in one place. Just click a few places in here. It is a user interface, but I'm hoping this is going to be big and just simplifies a lot of the low quality screen time that we get just from clicking around all these events and stuff like that.
I mean, I do have a lot of confidence in the developer that's putting this together. They're a player for a long time before they even worked for Scopely, and they got it, and I'm sure it'll be better than it is right now. The events tab right now, or the events area, is not great. It's pretty horrible, actually.
No, because all the events aren't there. You got to click around in many different places. So all right, we have the raids launching today. So we got a little announcement here. In order to set the Chaos Raids auto launch, you need to click on the third section that currently says Beta Raid 4. Select the Chaos Raids you'd like to launch. As a reminder, after March 27th, 4 p.m., you'll no longer be able to launch the raid of any previous green raid energy. So better finish the raid that you launched. So if you're in a raid today, you'll be fine, but you're not gonna be able to launch any in the future. So what is your expectations with these chaotic storm raids? I mean, we've had the green raids in a while. We've had Ultimus, the Orcus raids. What does this change for a lot of the newer alliances or mixed alliances? Because that's what I think is the big change here, is the mixed alliances.
Okay, so I think that there's two parts of this question, right? What is it going to mean for someone like me, and then what is it going to be for like a more casual alliance? So there's the Chaotic Storm raids, and then there are the Chaotic Storm raids Omega. Chaotic Storm raids are going to be amazing for what I would call a mixed alliance. If you're an alliance where your cousin is in the alliance and maybe your coworkers are all in the same alliance, or maybe you have some veteran larger account players that are, going semi-retired and they're in the alliance where they're not really playing it every day, and new players are coming up, or players with alt accounts. A lot of people play more than one account, right? So I feel like the Chaotic Storm raids with the difficulty selectors is going to allow for a more flexibility where not everybody needs to have the same collection size and this and that, and it should make for a better experience. This is actually a complete reversal of pretty much everything they were trying to do over the last several years, where they were almost like compelling people, incentivizing people to be in like homogenous alliances where everybody has similar play styles, similar collection styles, similar spending habits, and that's a complete reversal. Now, as far as the Chaotic Storm Omega, do you want me to go on to that, or you want to keep on to the top part?
All right. I mean, I like the Chaotic Storm normal raids. I think that is something that's needed for a while. A lot of times over the course of these 7 years, I've been playing. People have been like, "Oh, what game are you doing a channel on?" I'm like, "Marvel Strike Force." It's like, should I play that game? I don't know, maybe. And a lot of that was because I couldn't ever play with them. With this, if you want to bring someone in that is like a real life friend, but they have a really low TCP account and you've been playing for a while, you couldn't really do that. With this, I think you can. So I think that's the huge thing with these Chaotic Storm raids. The Omega raids, they're going to be more like the traditional raids. What are your thoughts on these Chaotic Storm Omega raids?
All right, so you and I both played this, right? We tested this, and you did the left and I did the right. So the right was able to go through with Mystic, and I just got to say that Mephisto, Odin, I put the wrong team. It was very easy. Like I used like Ancient One, who's not even a raid character, and I got through like, it just didn't matter, right? So, but then I got to the skill section, and the rules were specifically designed to screw over Spider Society. There was a safe, positive effects removal, like in-game Thanos. Basically, it was the Jean Grey, so it's probably towards the bottom right there. It says, like, whenever an ally assists, reduce the duration of all positive effects by 3 for this character and all their allies. That is an anti-Spider Society that goes through Safeguard, and basically, you're not getting through it unless you have Vigil Anti. Do I think that's an elegant solution? Not really. Not really. I think it's literally just like, oh, hey, they could have rewrote that. You know what they should have done?
What?
It says Jean Grey Chaos cannot go into the match with Spider Society. I mean, they could have just coded it that way. It just said like, or they could have said, you can only use Vigilante on these nodes. I don't really understand, the idea of trying to mask what the real intent of setting it up that way.
These are the traditional raids. These are how the raids have always been. These green ones, they're their big change here. This one, the orange one, the Chaotic Storm Omega, that's just how the raids have always been. You need the latest, greatest raid characters. Because my experience, I went to the left side, pretty much the same. We started with Tech, very, very easy. Orcus, Smat. I was playing it manually, but I'm sure I could have simmed it if I needed to. And then Psylocke, the boss node came out. Psylocke came out, killed Lady Deathstrike right away, and we still beat it. We did it. We went through it with 4 Orcus characters, and so Orcus part was pretty easy. But then we got to the bio section with Shadow King. Went in with my Hive Mind. He destroyed pretty much all the Hive Mind. And if you look at what his ability is, Psychic Star, reduce the active healing 50%. But this character cannot fill speed bar for any character. This is applied to speed bar gain through normal means. So Carnage, screw you to Carnage. So Hive Mind does not work on this section. You're going to need whatever the next bio team is. And we're all going to be struggling until the next bio team comes out.
Well, so maybe there's a way around this in difficulty 4, 3, 2, 1. I mean, there's a total of 6 difficulties.
True,
but on the highest,
we did try the highest difficulty.
Yeah,
so
the highest difficulty, it's not beatable.
And we had no diamonds. We had no diamonds on a test server, so maybe that also makes a difference as well.
So we're obviously going to be getting a new bio team shortly, is be my guess, and then the skill team is around the corner. And if you're wanting to participate at this at the max.
The mutant.
Mutant's old.
X-Men is an old team. That's one of the oldest teams that we have.
I think that the least useful, squishiest team right now is going to be Hive Mind. They did get a small resurgence with Knull, but they're kind of the ones that are kind of on their way out. If I were to say which ones are the most likely to go out,
I would have said them as well, but I would include Extreme X-Men in that. Not necessarily the skill team, because Spider Society was a little newer, but I don't know. This it is what it is. This is what it's going to be. So if you want to beat the hardest version of the raids, you need the newest teams.
Right. So what this means is that the raid teams largely are not skippable if you want to participate in these now. And in the past, there's been some accommodation with these raid teams where they were useful outside of the raid mode. We think about Night Stalkers and Orcus, and to a certain extent Hive Mind and Extreme, and then also the Spider Society. They were good elsewhere. I don't know if that is going to be true going forward. It seems like the direction that the game is moving in is they're going into lane specific teams where they may not be anything anywhere else. And I feel like that the good example of that most recently is Starjammers.
Yeah, I think that's going to be their intent, but I think there will be some use. Like Astro wasn't supposed to be useful outside of Battle World, but they're pretty good in Crucible. They're pretty good in War. So I think we may get some unintentional useful characters outside of their intended game mode. But yeah, I think the devs' intent is to make them very lane specific and everything moving forward. But hopefully they screw up and we get more plug and play characters and not just what they want. Raid difficulty selector. So you could choose the base difficulty and you make it harder and harder. You can't make it easier. That's more for the normal raids, not the Omega raids. What do you think of having that as the baseline instead of? Because I thought it would be a little different. I thought you would just be on the individual nodes. You could go in, switch whatever nodes you want. With this one, it's just you could only make it harder, not necessarily easier. So I guess the alliance leader or who was ever launching the raids would need to tune it towards the lowest member, and then everybody else can make it harder at that point.
Right, the mega is not different than the way it is now. Is essentially what that is.
What do you think of that? The individual slider. What are your thoughts on the individual?
Well, the individual slider applies to the non-omega, right? And that's good for casual alliances. That's all.
Yeah, and I thought we were able to switch the boss nodes, but they did make some switches to the boss. They made some changes before it's launched. So for Chaotic Storm Omega, the final boss nodes are no longer optional if you want 100% complete the raid. They were before when it was previously announced, but there's been some changes that are made. Keep in mind, the rewards are tied to individual nodes completion, not alliance completion percent. So getting 100% in this raid is not required for you to get the maximum amount of rewards. So the reward's not tied to 100%. That's a little different. I'm not. That's different than everything we've had before.
Right.
I don't know. It seems like it's going to be better. Is there any downside, do you think, for this?
No, I mean the normal is way more casual player friendly. It's a like I said, it's an extreme departure from what they've been trying to do in the past. Absolutely. So. It's almost like as far as the normal version, it's almost like a solo event for each individual in a lot of ways.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
All right, this Omega though, this one got harder. We've reduced the number of bosses from 8 to 2, which is good. These final bosses no longer optional for 100% completion of the raid. They were optional before. Based on what you've seen in a test server, do you think that's gonna be a problem with those final bosses? Or once you have the teams, you'll be set. But without those teams, you're gonna struggle.
I didn't get to one of the mini bosses because I got shut down before that, so I don't have any idea. Yeah, because I was on the second wave. I only got to do Mystic and then went to skill, and then it was over in skill.
Oh, you didn't switch it after Mystic? You didn't get to the boss after Mystic?
Oh, I did. I killed it or walked past it, or my lane mate got through it. I don't know. I didn't get to play it. I didn't see it.
So the way it's set up, you could either skip it or just go past it. I'm wondering if maybe it was so easy. Maybe it was either so easy you didn't notice it, or you skipped it and went past it.
Yeah, well, also too, I was playing an LD player where the lines don't work right. Like it looked, you know how the map lanes look weird on LD player. On Blue, it doesn't work right, so I have no idea. I mean, I was just going through it, and I didn't see anything, so I have no idea.
Gotcha. All right, so you do need to beat that final boss, though. So hopefully that's not something that really screws up the raids. But I mean, it was announced, it was changed before he was even went in the game. So I don't know. I don't think it's a huge issue with this. Hype level right now, based on what you've seen on the test server and before it actually comes to the game. What's your hype level? We're gonna have the normal difficulty today, so it's gonna be pretty easy. What is your hype level right now, though?
Out of a scale of 1 to 10?
Yeah.
A 10 being the highest?
Sure.
I don't know.
I'm at a 7 right now. I get pretty hyped for new stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I have no idea.
All right. What about your hype level for the Cosmic Crucible Ultimate 32?
Oh yeah, that's hype.
I know some people were like, "Oh no, why are they bringing that back?"
That's hype. That's hype.
That's hype in a good way, because I know I like it. I know some people didn't. It looked like it was launched properly this time. Have you heard any reports of people not getting in? Because the last time we had an Ultimate 32, half the people didn't even get matched up. So they didn't even get to play this. They had their rankings drop. The trophies were gone. It seemed like this time it's working properly. I haven't seen any reports. Have you seen any reports of issues with this?
Nope.
All right, positives. Because I do want to talk about some positives and negatives, because I really like this, but I know not everybody does. I guess for me, positive. More days of Cosmic Crucible, 5 days instead of 3. Do you like that part, or is that a negative for you?
I think Cosmic Crucible is the best part of this game, and so I love it. It's absolutely entertaining to me. It's probably the most compelling reason for me to continue playing this game. I love Cosmic Crucible. More is better. Not everybody feels that way, so that's fine. I mean, I think if you don't like normal Cosmic Crucible, you won't like this, and that's that.
Well, it's a little different. There's only 3 rooms, which means that I don't think any of these rooms are going to hold. I think no matter what you place on defense, over the course of 6 attacks with all the stuff that's still on offense, I think it's going to be pretty much full cleared. Do you see any teams that are going to hold in this ultimate 32?
The team that I used in room 3 held like almost 6 attacks.
Okay. Nice. I'm curious to see. Now, I didn't have a real experience. My opponent messaged me before and said, "Hey, I forgot to switch up my teams. Congratulations, you win," before we even matched up. So I don't know what it's gonna be when I get somebody that actually plays the defense based on this.
Right.
Any issues with the rules though? I thought this was actually all 3 of these rooms were pretty impactful in the Cosmic Crucible tournament that we did. The striker, the glass cannon. What are your, because this is going to be a rule in season 14, so not just one room for Ultimate 32. This is going to be a room coming up for the next season. What are your thoughts with this? Striker characters spawn, get safeguard, they get death proof, but they get less health, 90% less health, 100% more damage. Fortifier characters will spawn with taunt. What are your initial thoughts right now based off of one day of Cosmic Crucible?
So there's some questions on whether or not this is working correctly and how much of the health bonuses that are provided by allies is affecting it. For example, if Super Scroll's on the team, he gives max health to the team. It's giving max health based off of the original amount versus stuff like that. So there's a lot of questions. So like that maybe that makes like a character like Apocalypse does something similar too, right? 25 max health to allies. And so that presents a situation where those types of characters become a lot more important. Safeguard then also leads to situations where Ares and Apocalypse is important. Death proof comes into situations where like a character like Medusa would be important, right? It prevents the death proof. So tons and tons of good things about this room if everything is working correctly. I'm not sure that it is. There's I don't know if it's working as people think. Specifically, like yesterday I was playing against an opponent who used Dorky's strategy, and Dorky was like,
What is Dorky's strategy? What is Dorky's strategy?
He put Striker in-game Thanos in room 1, hoping that it would trigger very quickly and blow up the other team. And he said, I don't know if that's doing enough damage. So there, I could see somebody,
that was scary to me. I think Venable did that to me in the Cosmic Crucible tournament. I'm like, ooh, that's smart.
Yeah, I mean, there's stuff like that. So I'm not sure that this is working 100%. I thought it's fun. I thought it was absolutely fun. Absolutely.
These weird rules I think are fun also. All right, toxic characters on turn. Attack self, 15% of the max health, and it's reducing the max health of that character, so you cannot heal after that. Interesting room. What kind of experiences do you have from the Cosmic Crucible tournament and from today with this room?
This is, in my opinion, of the 3 rooms, the most least impactful room rule. Like, that is one that affects the outcome of the battle the least out of the other 2. So I kind of feel like this is the most closely to a nothing room. It's more than some of the other rooms that we've had in the past, but I didn't find that was really changing the course of gameplay as far as this team beats this team. That rule doesn't change that very much, where the other 2 rooms absolutely change that dynamic.
Yeah, we will get to the 3rd room because that's where I think a lot of people are having issues. But I'm wondering about what happens with this. If you want faster characters to go to damage their team, but you're going to damage yourself as well, or if you want slower characters to have them take a turn. So it's kind of an interesting dynamic in this room.
That's fine, but it doesn't change. This team beats this team. Yeah, it doesn't really change. So that's what I'm talking about. Team A beats Team B.
Even with
that, room 1, that may not be true. Room 3, that may not be true. In general, room 2 doesn't change a lot of matchups. I mean, we can get into the nuance of which team is faster.
Let's just move on to the problem room. Let's just move on to 3. Let's move on to room 3. Because when I first read this, I'm like, oh, this is just going to screw up Kahori. This screws up a lot. The lower the damage focus, 5,000% damage. Focus by 5,000%, damage by 50%. Non-Mephisto character takes a turn to prefer any character on defense. So slower teams or faster teams on defense for you? You want to be slow on defense. So what are you thinking with this? My opponent used an older team here. So what are your thoughts with this?
So I did a kind of like a double psych, you know.
What did I do? I don't even remember what I did.
Okay, so here's the thing: is that Starjammers are very fast, and they're designed to kind of go against the Odin Illuminati, and that's not, that room right there is going to shut down a lot of what Starjammers do. So I put Odin Illuminati there, and then so the counter to that becomes some sort of Mephisto team, right? Because Illuminati is relatively fast, and so if you put a Mephisto team there, you know, the room rolls are kind of negated by the Illuminati going pretty quickly, although the Starjammers are faster. So then what you're doing right there is you're doing exactly the team I used right there was Knull, which is going to be somewhat of an anti-Mephisto. So you're going to have to two-tap that room.
That's what I ended up doing. I switched my defense after what I saw. So this is what my defense is going to be day 2 and maybe on from that. But this is going to be a problem. This team right here in room 3.
Yeah, so you're doing all strikers over there?
In this room?
Yeah.
The glass cannon. No, we got a fortifier on man thing.
Oh,
we have a raider and Agatha. The rest of them
Okay.
three are strikers. I'm gonna see what happens.
I like the in-game Thanos as a striker, and then
These guys go fast. These guys go fast, and that's what I'm thinking with this. I don't know. We'll see. It may be crap. It may be great. We'll see tomorrow when we go to the matchup.
My best guess is, like, again, the way your room is set up is that, you know, somebody might be able to 2-tap room 3. Room 2 is a nothing, and then, you know, because they don't use Starjammers in room 3, they're gonna run like Starjammers into 1.
I didn't
into 2.
go through my head, but
yeah,
Chad was saying this is gonna screw up Starjammers.
No, they're going to do Starjammers into
Starjammers.
No, they're going to use Starjammers in room 1. They're going to use Immortal in room 2.
No, Immortal X-Men. Sorry, Immortal X-Men. Room 1. Room 2 is going to screw up Immortal X-Men, is what Chad told
really?
me. So that's what it. I didn't calculate it out. I just like, all right, I trust you. Let's put it there.
Okay.
I don't know. We'll see. It may or may not do that. All right. Other big thing that happened this week is the. Actually, let's talk about the Starjammers rework, because they did get a rework. Do you think that affected anything in Cosmic Crucible? We did get to play with them before this rework and afterward. What are your thinking? What was your experience with them? Because I don't have the full Starjammers teams, and they kind of suck without the full team. So what was your experience with this?
Okay, so this actually I think was a W, and I'll explain why. So when I saw the reworks, you know, the concern that I had was, you know, if they go overboard with the reworks, like they did with, on some level, like Spider Society was.
Yeah,
it was a little bit overboard, right? And so I was like, okay, is this going to be overboard? I'm not sure. Will this do what I thought they should be doing in the first place? So what I was hoping Starjammers would accomplish is some sort of solution for Odin Illuminati, and the reworks that they have do that, and they are now very strong team inside of Crucible, and yet I feel like this is what the team should have been, and I don't feel like it's gonna break much either.
So you know how the devs whenever say we wanted to hit these objectives, you think these are the objectives they were supposed to hit: beat Odin Illuminati, maybe have some trouble with other teams that feature Knull, but at least taking care of the Odin Illuminati and Crucible.
Right. Yeah, I think it's absolutely.
Cool. Well, that's good to hear, because I don't have the full team yet, and all I've heard is disappointment, and my team kind of sucks because they're not the full team and I don't have really built. So it's good to hear that they could do that reliably. Let's move on.
Yeah, it's still kind of a mediocre team.
Let's go back. What is that?
Well, I mean, the team is way better than it was, but it's not busted. I feel like they do a certain thing, and that's fine. And they're good in Starjammers. Do they run over everything? No.
Well, I want to talk about the recommendations for Professor X featured Unique Lalandra, but they're talking about Howard and Havoc. I don't see that for these guys. I feel they're just Cosmic Crucible or on the full team. Howard looks bad outside of Crucible. Do you think that they have any value with these reworks now in Cosmic Crucible? And Professor X Saga?
Nope. No, I don't. Right. I don't think so at all.
All right, I agree. Now let's go to the Freedom Spire, because this was kind of annoying to climb up, but once we got to those challenging floors, I had fun kind of resetting this. What was your feelings on the Freedom Spire Kyln Tower? Too hard enough? and I guess I do want to talk about some of these earlier floors too, because that kind of was annoying because it's pretty easy content. But I think they didn't need to leave that in there for newer players, mid-game players. What do you feel about this whole Freedom Spire? So let's talk about the early floors first, and then the late floors.
All right, so I saw a lot of talk of the Asgardian part being go down to 19, I think. Yeah, there's a lot of complaints about this where it's basically if you don't have Odin, you're not getting through it, or you're
forced. Did they change anything?
Yeah, well, you need Odin, is what it is. Like I don't think
they change anything though, because this was always hard for me.
I don't know. A lot of complaints.
And Beta Ray Bill and those guys.
Yeah, if you don't have Odin, it's then you're forced to upgrade some pretty terrible characters, and I don't think people want to do that.
Gotcha. Yeah, I guess if you're looking back and you never upgraded the Asgardians, because at the time, the first time this came around, the Asgardians, the Bifrost team was like the raid team, so it did make sense to upgrade them. If you're trying to play this now as a new player, trying to go back, it doesn't really make sense to build up that team. I see where the people could struggle, but yeah. But this was always really tough.
So and then if you're talking about my personal experience, the first 43-ish nodes were torturously boring and uneventful. There was it was until we got to 44. Nothing.
Everything is easy.
The only thing that I did was I pre-charged Storm. But
did you use that? Because I did that same thing, and then Gore just took out all the charges. Like,
no, you don't go. You're talking about the very last node. Yeah, you don't use
node.
No. You sack the node with Liberty, or you get through it with Liberty, and then you clean up with Storm.
Yeah. I did it the other way around.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. But yeah, Cabal is pretty tough. The Orcus stuff, I just used Scientist Supreme, Sentinel, and Lady Deathstrike. That was it. For all of these, for the Alpha Flight and everything like that, pretty easy, because I don't think we had Diamonds at the time. We had Orcus when this was around, so they're much stronger. Level 105, everything. All right. Liberty. I used 3 characters on this Liberty section. Didn't use any Mighty Avengers. I tried to go in with Saxon, it didn't work as well, so just ended up using Captain Sam, Peggy Carter, and then Falcon Joaquin. Any different characters there, or any different?
I used about 6 versions of those teams to get through the nodes. There was no continuity to what I used. It was all over the place, and I try. So for me, this was fun. If you don't have them at 105, it probably was not fun. And then at 57 and 58, I did use Immortals. I exploded Immortals, then saved up cooldowns for the next node. Then I deleted Gore with Liberty, and then exploded the node with Immortals with Storm. So I felt like 44 on. For my account, my roster provided a meaningful gameplay experience, which I've been craving in Marvel Strike Force, but it was mind-numbingly bad. Waste of an hour getting to 44. Absolutely atrocious.
Oh man, you only did yours an hour. It took me 2 hours to get to the Cabal.
I don't know.
Not necessarily gameplay, but there's a lot of loading and selecting teams. And
so I feel like, because I know I have a VOD, to do 44 to 58 took like an hour and 10 minutes, but that was meaningful gameplay. Like, it was challenging, right? Like I had to go and reset the node. I had to go and try again. I had to try and figure out whatever is going to work. And that was meaningful.
That's fun to me. That's fun to me. Throwing a team in and autoing, that's not fun. But figuring stuff out, I failed. I got to try this again.
It might have been
that's fun.
90 minutes to get to 44, and it was mindless. Absolutely mindless, and I don't know, and at least an hour and a half, it was not fun.
It took me about half hour for 56, 57, 58, and then I took about half hour for 52, 53, 54 also. So it takes a while, but it was fun for me. I like that.
So for me, 44 through 58 was a ton of fun. I had a great time. I thought it was perfect. If they had things like that happen all the time without having to do the 1 through 43, I think that'd be great.
How would you suggest bringing this back? Because obviously they need to keep some of those earlier floors, right? They can't just remove them because endgame is too easy for endgame players, because this is a 7-year-old game. There's new players with very small rosters. There's mid-game players. They need some of those earlier floors. We don't, though. So what is the solution to make everybody happy?
Yeah, I don't. They could come up with a certain way. Like, how many times have we beat 1 through 43? You know what I mean? with
if
the
it's
fourth,
logged in the game, just use that.
well, no. How many times have we had this version of Kyln Tower where we've actually gone through 43? Maybe the third time that you beat
Bifrost.
it. Yeah, maybe the third time you beat Cell 43, you know, like 3 events, you know, one the event before, the event before, the event before, you don't ever have to play it again. If you've beat node, so like right now we beat node 58, right? The third time that you beat 58, you don't have to play it again. You can sim it.
That's a good solution. I wonder if they have the tech to implement that, but I think that's a great solution. Yeah, so all the easy nodes, we don't have to go through it ever again. Some of the harder ones, the more challenging ones, we could go back and see how much, like this was fun with my Orcus team because this was hard before. But now going back with Orcus and see how easy it was, I'm like, even though it was easy, I'm like, that's fun because I struggled on this before. It was tough.
Yeah, so maybe
like
third or fourth, maybe the third or fourth time. You know, like how many times have we played the first 10 nodes? I don't feel like we need to do that ever again. Okay, we're good.
I like it. Okay, so one of the pretty decent rewards too. There's a lot of X coins in here. I
just want to back up for. I want to back up for a second. Me wasting an hour and a half of my time doing nothing is not a silly complaint. It was atrocious. I was streaming for an hour and a half like this with my head on the ground. It's like, who play tested this and proved this idea? It's terrible, mindless gameplay. Like, if my time was not, like, let's say I had like a normal job and my time was important. That was a horrible use of my time. And if it wasn't my job to play this game, I wouldn't have done it. Because it was a garbage experience, absolutely trash.
I agree. I think I'm not as angry now, but I think that's how I was on stream playing this. I'm like, why do I have to play this? This just sucks. I gotta go eat dinner. I don't want to be playing this. Why am I streaming?
Yeah,
I agree.
If they want to split up where you can only do 5 nodes a day or 10 nodes a day, that's fine too.
One of the reasons I like Kyln Tower, because if I wanted to spend those 3 hours in one sitting, I can. That's with the other ones. What is the other tower mode? Whatever the other tower is, when you only get to use one characters and you got to do rotate. I don't like that one. I like this one better, but there's just too many floors. It's a cool concept, but there's just too many floors at this point.
Yeah.
All right. Off of this and on to actually, let's go back to the rewards. Lots of X coins because I did want to talk about the shop. I got like 1 million of this. It doesn't seem like it's 1 million though. Is it? I don't know. I got a lot of X coins on this. Rewards seem pretty good. Lots of milestone points for the milestone that's going on right now with some potential crimson pieces. What are you buying in your X coin shop? For me, I'm just buying this top row every single time. I'm not even looking what it is. I'm not refreshing the store though, but so whatever is on the top row, I'm buying everything. How are you approaching this X-Coin store?
Yeah, I've only been buying the Mythic, but I'm probably gonna have to do that because I feel like I'm gonna have too much.
I mean, yeah, look how much we got
45 days. I think I'm gonna have to start buying the top row. I'm not buying anything but the top row.
Okay, yeah, I'm only buying the Gear 220 pieces also. I'm not buying anything other than top row, but I'm not even looking what it is. I'm just buying the whole top row and then moving on.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a good plan, yeah.
All right, but let's talk about the zombie Scarlet Witch going on right now. We got a couple things to discuss with this. The event itself. Let's talk about the event itself. We talked about this before we started recording. You're like, what are you talking about? The trash event for Zombie Scarlet Witch? Yeah. What are your other thoughts on this event? I guess it's good because the orb has a minimum drop of 1. So it's not like some previous orbs where it was 0. You got to spend all these cores and potentially get nothing for it. So at least you get at least 1 Zombie Scarlet Witch shard a day.
Well, I think that this is good for the other parts, the other 3 Undyings. Like if you don't have them, this is a good way of getting the rest of the Undying. That's fine.
Good call on that.
Yeah, but like if your focus is just getting Zombie Scarlet Witch, I mean, I think I maxed out the 50s and ran through the event and opened up 2 orbs. In theory, I could have only got 2, right? So I'm not, and I pulled 10, which everybody said that was much higher than normal, but I feel I think that's good for someone like me who was very close from going from 3 to 4. I don't see this event, launching me from 4 to 5 by doing what I was talking about. I mean, I just don't. I mean, unless
you get a jackpot in the orb or something.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel like it didn't. It felt kind of bad, frankly.
Well, for me, I wasn't expecting any zombie Scarlet Witch shards until Halloween. I know we've had zombie Iron Man and zombie Juggernaut return before that, but I'm never expecting it before Halloween. So this is just kind of a bonus for me. Like, if I get 5 shards, I'm like, I wasn't expecting 5 shards. That's 5 more than I thought. But this is also tied to something that's pretty big. And if you're looking for Professor X, that could mean more than all those zombie shards or everything like that. I'm actually considering buying some of the offers, not necessarily for the zombie Scarlet Witch shards, but or this stuff, because there's decent stuff here. It's for this. We got some skill pieces that is gear tier 20 pieces, which you're gonna need if you want to get Professor X unlocked. So I might get some offers for zombie Scarlet Witch for this. Before we talk about the offers, is this something that you would push for? Some of this skill gear for potential getting Professor X a little faster?
All right, so how do I say this? Like, I feel like traditionally the Mephisto scroll, whatever, right? The prior Dark Dimensions,
kind of dark, yeah.
Yeah, but not so much Apocalypse, but let's say like Super Scroll and Mephisto.
They're big chase though. He's always their big chase. He wasn't a Dark Dimension, but he's the big chase of that year, 2020, I think.
Well, let's just talk about day one players that could enter those events on day one. There was a dramatic contrast between Mephisto and Odin, right? Like, I mean, I wouldn't say that, these are extreme fringe people, right? That are going to be day one players, but the cost of being a day one player for Odin versus the day one player to get in for Mephisto was probably 10 times less. Let's just say it was 10 times less, maybe 20 times less, if we're going to use multiples, right? So I don't feel like this is similar to Odin at all. And there were people that were able to spend a little bit during the Odin event to get the purple 3 ISO that got through and got Odin very quickly. A lot of people were able to do it by min-maxing the events. There were a lot of early people to get Odin, right?
There was a lot of, they gave us a lot of help with the purple ISO 8 and the ions, the stores, and the raids. If you had a high level raid alliance, you were getting a lot of that stuff all the time. And just giving out stuff for Odin.
So this feels like to be somewhere in between. It's definitely more challenging than the Odin. From what we know today, we still got a couple weeks before the event goes in, but being day one on any of these events, to get Professor X has never been inexpensive. Now, what you're talking about is min-maxing on your spending, right? Is there an amount of money that you could spend to place higher in the ranks, and there's a couple offers? I felt like that was very much so true for Odin, and to the extent that I've seen so far, you might be able to get ahead a little bit by doing that. And of course, people that are shooting to be day one, it's going to be very expensive. So you're saying, should you buy this offer? Well, I mean, it depends on what kind of spender you are. I mean, right? I mean, I feel like I was probably in the price point for Odin, but I've never been in the price point for a character like Mephisto or Super Scroll. I mean, to spend, the thousands and thousands of dollars that people spent to be day one Mephisto or in the running for a day one Mephisto just is not even in my mindset. Where Odin, after looking back at Odin, is like, oh, okay, there were people that were getting Odin unlocked in, let's say, the first week without spending, the cost of a car. You know what I mean? Like, and I just don't know where this is going to line up. But based on what we know right now, it does not look like this is going to be anywhere near the price point of Mephisto, but yet considerably higher than Odin.
All right, so let me show you this offer that we talked about before we started recording and get your thoughts on it again. So with this offer, it's a chain offer. And if we look at this, I'll just go through a few of them here. So it's 99 cents for one of these orbs, this Undying Orb, which guarantees one zombie Scarlet Witch charge. So you're not doing this for zombie Scarlet Witch. You're doing this for potential Professor X. 99 cents for one of these orbs here. Then the next chain, $2.99 for 2 orbs. Then you got $4.99 for 5 orbs. So 10,000 fragments, which is also scoring points in that thing as well. The number 4 is $10. All in all, when we add all the this up, it's about $70, and you're getting 160 orb fragments or 80 orbs, 80 shards for zombie Scarlet Witch, and you're getting 2 points per orb fragment that you get. So that's 320 milestone points. So with all that said, could get you up higher on the leaderboards, which could get you more gear to 20 pieces for Professor X, get you some zombie Scarlet Witch shards, get you ranking up a little higher on the milestones.
Right.
Is $70 for all of this worth it for you? Is maybe buying a couple of these to go up to the rank for on the leaderboards? Is that worth it for you? Also, if you're going to go to the next star level for Zombie Scarlet Witch, because you could go to that next chapter in those Red Dead Redemption missions, and then I don't know if that's the right name, but you could go into those missions there and get to the next level, which means that you won't refresh power core. So based on all those different factors, is this, and everybody has their different price points, it may be worth it for some people. Is this going to be worth it for you, mobile gamer? $70, 160 orb fragments, 80 orbs, 320 plus milestone points. Is this going to be worth it for you?
So my understanding is there's another offer for $100 that has 125 individual orbs. So there's different ways of looking at it, right? So I think for me, there's 4 days left in the event, and I'm going to be more inclined to look at it then. And something that may sway me is the ability to get Zombie Scarlet Witch to the next star level. If that doesn't look like it's going to happen, then maybe not. That might, then I may make a decision, because there's multiple ways of doing it. This event right here is 4 days long. But I think I want to, at this time right now, because there's 4 days left, I think I want to continue doing the 50 refreshes on the event, see what kind of drops I get for Zombie Scarlet Witch. As far as, using those pieces for Vigilante, I'm curious to know if the Vigilantes at low star levels are going to be able to get through whatever is going to be needed to get through Professor X, because the requirements on those are 3 stars, right? You got to get 3 stars, right? We have zero information on whether or not a 3-star new Daredevil is going to get through it. What if it's only a 7-star Daredevil can get through it? Like, I don't know. I just wish we had more information. Like if the Professor X was running right now and the Mega Krakens had finished it and had Professor X, and we had that information, that would make me more comfortable in making decisions. I would hate to spend, like you said, $70 or $80 or maybe even $100, and then for what? Unless I bought, the $350 to take, the Vigilante, each character up to 7 yellow, 7 red, or you don't get through it. We don't know. Do we have any idea? We have no idea.
No, they're not going to give us every information, because that's some of the FOMO marketing that they do. We're not going to get any information in advance. We just got to kind of guess and then hope that we're right with all of it.
Yeah, I don't know. I do not know. I don't think it's going to work out like that. I really don't. But if players are able to get Professor X with, let's say 7 on Oath, 7 on Blade, and 3 on the 3 new Vigilantes, or if there was an alternate team that worked, that would make me more, I feel like that's a vital piece of information.
Well, we got to build the Vigilantes anyway, like you said earlier, right?
Well,
we got to build them for the raid, so...
I'm willing to do it at 3 stars, but if it's a 7-star situation, man, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with this. Obviously, with all your Dark Dimension choices, I would wait till like right before you go in, save all your gear, plan for all your gear. Yeah. But unless there's a character maybe like Odin that you think is gonna benefit you right away, don't equip any of your characters with this until we get more information on all this stuff. Just hoard. That's what I'm gonna do.
Big shout out to all the people that are upgrading everything now and that are going to try to do it day one. I'd love to get your information.
You do all that stuff so we don't have to. I love it.
Yeah. Big shout out to them anyways.
Well, you know how like we like to experiment with that Kyln Tower nodes? They have the budget to experiment with Dark Dimension. Well, it's not Dark, Professor X Saga, so good. I like that. That's fun. I would have fun with that if I had the budget for that.
So what concerns me about the Professor X saga is the 3-star node clear requirements. Like, I don't know what that means, like, or how that plays out is what I mean. Like, before, if you went in with the wrong team into Dark Dimension, in most circumstances, you could get through it much slower in a very painful manner, right? Like, it would set you back time. This might be yes or no. You can't. Yeah,
maybe
it's
that's why
very
they
different.
changed. Maybe that's why they changed the name. Maybe that's why this is not Dark Dimension 10. Maybe this is why this is Professor X Saga, because it's, I don't know, but it's gonna have some highs and lows, right? When you almost get through it and you're like, oh, I did it, it's gonna feel so bad. But when you're like almost gonna die and you get through it, that's gonna be such a good feeling also. So it's gonna be a lot of highs and lows with that.
I mean, what if I G20 the wrong team? G20 the wrong team with the wrong set of characters.
That could cost you months in the saga.
Yeah, I can get through the node, but I can't 3-star it. I can only 1-star it, or I can only 2-star it. Then what? I don't get Professor X, and then how much time is that going to? I mean, it's a big deal, right?
You're eventually going to get him. You're just costing yourself months or something, you know?
Right.
We'll see. I think I'm thinking about doing this because unlike you, this could put me to the next star level for Zombie Scarlet Witch. So I'm seriously considering that. All right, it's not here now, but we had our first set of global milestones this past weekend. I like that we have global milestones. I like the community working towards it. This one was based on Arena and had the effect of knocking me out of the top 50 for like 3 days. And I couldn't, even with all 5 attacks, I couldn't get back into it. I just got back into it recently. So I like the global milestones. I didn't like that it was based on Arena though. What was your feeling on global milestones?
I maybe I didn't understand how the event worked. I guess for me, I don't understand how that is different than a login event. It just confuses me. I get how is it different than a calendar?
Well, because we actually had to play Arena. Some people, they just came in and everybody had the Arena attacks done and they just collected rewards. That's how it was for some people. But when I logged in, I was like, oh man, let's go chase this. Let me do my Arena attacks right now. And so I guess at that point, if the milestones aren't complete, you're still chasing for it. And they did say that these are going to be like easy ones initially.
So if you didn't attack, did you get the rewards?
You did need to do at least 1 attack during the whole thing.
All right, so as long as you did 1 attack, you got all the rewards?
Yeah. But,
okay.
You know, that's assuming that everybody also claimed all the rewards. If everybody just did 1 attack, I'm assuming there would be no rewards, so.
Yeah, okay, so, I mean, I guess for the players that do 1 attack, it's essentially a calendar login reward just for playing the game, right? As long as you do 1 attack, you're getting the rewards. I just don't really understand the group project mentality of this at all. I just don't get it.
I don't know. I like it in other games. You never had that in Marvel Strike Force though. So I'm hoping that the community will enjoy it as much as I do because I like working towards that. And they did say that these will be pretty weak rewards, pretty uninteresting ones because they want to make sure that it works properly. They're putting in these are kind of tests now, and I don't think this is the last test. So I think the next few global milestones might be kind of boring, might seem like login calendars, but then I think. Once they know that it's working properly, hopefully we get some more interesting events with this.
It's kind of like a daily login, as long do one arena attack and you get these rewards. I just don't see how it's different than that. I really don't.
I don't know. It's psychologically it's different. From a rewards perspective, it's very similar, but psychologically making progress as a community. Even if
I felt none of that. I felt nothing. I felt none of that whatsoever. I felt nothing whatsoever. Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, this is horrible because everybody's doing their arena attacks and I'm dropping out and I can't.
All right. I got rewards. I liked that. It just didn't feel any differently than like a daily milestone of some kind or whatever. Yeah.
I'm just hoping some of their plans going down the road changes that fact.
Okay.
All right. But, well, not everybody, but highly engaged alliances. If you're doing the highest difficulty for the past 2 battle worlds, you would have unlocked Knull. Got another calendar for him. Surprisingly, we got some red stars. Everybody's asking, what is the red stars for Knull going to be? They gave us a login calendar as if you log in for 7 out of the next 10 days or something, then you get 4 stars for him for free. This was a good reward for such a crappy game mode that I hope is better when it comes back in its second iteration around September. But What effect has Knull been in your account right now? Obviously, Arena's been shaking up. So let's start with that. What is the effect been for you in Arena?
Yeah, this is a meaningful character, and yet not like he's definitely not a Odin or a Mephisto. You know, like you know how those characters it was definitely like very, very disruptive, but he is disruptive in his own way. Specifically on the interactions or Arena, specifically on his preventing of Empowered, which directly affects Knull and Apocalypse. Yeah, but it doesn't make them useless. It just makes them less effective in a lot of ways. So there's been some small resurgence of Hive Mind. The way that you play him matters. The interaction of his battlefield effects with your Odin matters. I like him. I think he's a good character. Also, too, we are playing him at low stars. I'm expecting him to be more impactful, when we get the stars. I don't feel like he was like, how like Old Man Logan came to the game and it was just like, oh my God, you know what I mean? Or Odin, oh my God. He's not on that level at all. Yeah, he's not on that level. No,
See,
no.
I didn't get that from Odin in the beginning, because if you brought him with the wrong team, and everybody figured out the right teams eventually, but if you brought him with the wrong team initially, he didn't do anything. He's slow and he didn't get his battlefield effects off. He's bad, But everybody figured out the right team. I think that's kind of how I feel about Knull. We saw him on the test server, and I was like, "Ooh, he's horrible on defense. Maybe Knull is not that great." And it was like, "All right, we just weren't using him right. He's really, really good."
Knull in Arena in particular is super interesting because you're bringing Knull on offense, let's say, and sometimes there's Gladiator. Well, okay, then you can use your Mephisto to get through the Gladiator taunt, and you're still using Apocalypse to get through the safeguard. Oh, wait, but they've got Apocalypse on defense, and you're not, the first attack of the match has like significantly lower focus, so you're not clearing. I feel like there's 6 ways to play every match nowadays, and it's like I like it. I think that's great. I very much like it. I think Knull's great.
What do you feel about, because the last team we've had for Arena was the Annihilators, right? But we've had several Arena shakeups since then, involving Old Man Logan, Odin, and now Knull, even Mephisto. So what do you feel about how the way the Arena is shaping up? Not full Arena teams, at least not for a year, but shake up the Arena meta by adding some of these mythical characters.
Yeah, I really like the Arena today. I got to feel that the Odin, Mephisto, Annihilator meta that we've had for it feels like it's been a while. I don't know how long, but I feel like that was a little bit tedious, and everybody had the same teams and there was really no thinking involved once we figured out. Now that may happen with Knull too.
That's probably going to happen eventually.
Yeah, I mean, we may figure
it's just
out.
new right now.
Yeah, it's new. I got to say, it's not painfully obvious the exact strategy to go up against every single team, because there's several teams, right? And there's people that are using Shadow King, and then there's a debate whether or not you're going to use, the 2 characters that are negatively affected by Knull, what's going to be the most effective, and I think it's going to be like that. And then we're going to have Professor X, and Professor X, I think, is going to be more on the line of have and have nots, and if you don't have him, you're probably not getting through him. His kit looks bonkers, and he just destroys so many characters directly with his kit, and I think that Professor X is going to be extremely disruptive. I mean, if we think about like Mephisto, the power of Mephisto, like if your opponent had Mephisto in Crucible, wow, that was a severe handicap. If your opponent that had Mephisto and you didn't have Mephisto, unless they really played it wrong or didn't do it, you were probably going to lose, right? And the same thing was true in Alliance War. How many Mephistos does your opponent have? How many Mephistos do you have? Well, there's a good chance that that's the way the war was going to play out. And I think Professor X is going to be on that order. for sure.
Yeah.
I don't think Knull's like that at all, though.
Well, he's like, Professor X is going to be mystic, right? Or mythic.
Mythic,
so,
yeah.
Professor X is at higher level. Odin has that. Knull doesn't have that tag. You know, when Ultron was first introduced to the game, he was everywhere. You had Ultron. It was a big difference. What was the next ones we had? I can't remember. But Doom was pretty big as well. Super Skrull. All these characters, all these mythic characters when they come to the game, totally shake up stuff. So yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen with Professor X. Way more impactful than Knull. Knull was kind of like, I felt like kind of like an Odin, right? He's very, very strong, but you got to use him right. I felt like these other characters, though, you just throw them in. And it's
I think Odin's way above Knull. But anyways, I feel like Knull, you know, let's say Shadow King was not that impactful, and Odin was very impactful. I feel like Knull's in between the two.
That's fair. I would agree with that. All right, let's move on to the data. Oh, that's not the data mines. Here's the data mines. Recruit the Uncanny Avengers. So it looks like Jean Grey Hercules going to the bumps. Not a surprise. Every new month, the new characters go to the bumps, go out of the bumps, become farmable. So just a schedule here. Nothing there. Zombie Scarlet Witch. This is an older data mine, so her shards are red stars are already available. I got 2 of them. It's popped up 2 times for me. Do you have did you see her in the store yet? Okay.
No, I have not.
Okay. Do you have her filled with red stars already? That's why it hasn't popped up for you.
No. I have her at 4 yellow right now. I haven't seen her. Yeah.
Okay. Command center, that hopefully that is exactly what I want, and making everything super simple. Next character, Daredevil Modern. So it looks like he's going to be the first character of the Vigilante team. I don't know. It's just the first character there. What are you going hard on this character? Considered as a raid character?
Well,
and potentially Dark Dimension, or I keep saying Dark Dimension, Professor X Saga.
Well, I don't know. What I do like about this is it mentions the budget 6-step streak offers in the files. I love those. Absolutely love those. Where you just buy offers. Where you buy the first one for whatever it is, let's say $5, and then you try to see what you get, and then you go to the next one and get the next one. There was a couple that were like $38, and then one of them I got, for $5. I got the character unlocked for $5, and I was done. The worst it's been was like $38, and then I cored the remainder, and I was good. It's any of that stuff is better than just buying the character for $50 and just swipe and you're done. I like the step up offers. How hard am I going to go?
I don't think the devs like that, but I think the players like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I will have to see what the. I mean, it's kind of hard to know how the raids are going to play out. We'll have to see.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be tough until we get full teams of that, and then the other side on that, the bio section as well. All right, X-Men in space. So it looks like the next month-long milestone event for April is going to be related to Professor X. The big things we got to collect is X-Men badges and a bunch of X-Men related items for the big ticket items. Not much there. So next week's event is going to be spending campaign energy. So are you going to start to hoard your campaign energy now, or are you just going to spend it normal? I saw your account when you were streaming. You have a bunch of incursion energy that you're saving. So are you going to do that with your campaign as well for this? Or
well, see, the incursion energy was some sort of weird thing. I don't know what it was. Everybody got 3,500 energy, and I was already at 105. So there's no purpose in spending it. So that's the only reason why I have all that. So I think most players that got that ended up using it to get closer to 105. I was already at 105, so I'm just saving it. I haven't made a decision whether or not I'm going to hoard campaign energy or not.
All right. I probably want to start. I don't know. I guess I'll wait to see what the rewards are for this, but I'm probably going to start hoarding now. Night Stalkers, Orcus, and Raids should be pretty easy unless they're on sections in the raids that we can't get to. No, Orcus is going to be on the left side. That's tech. Night Stalkers, can we get to them? What is the
Night
first
Stalkers?
on the right side?
On the right side. Yep.
They're the first on the right side.
Yep.
Okay, so the first on the right side, first on the left side. So that's the only teams we could use in the raids if they're the highest difficulty. And then Alliance event looks like it's coming back. Battle and Chaotic Storm raids. Or no, it seems pretty simple here. And then next Strike Pass we'll have Patriot. And then more Lalandra brooches, or are we done with the Lalandra brooches?
I think that's what the data mine above was about.
That the Lalandra brooches are done.
I'm not sure.
This one was some M-Cran crystals and gold for the Command Center Battle Festival that they talked about here. So I don't know. I guess we'll see. It may or may not have the M-Cran crystals in it.
Yeah.
Or the brooch. All right, and yeah, lots going on this week. Lots coming up in Marvel Strike Force. I think I'm still most excited about the roguelike game mode. I don't know when that's going to be released, but what are you most hyped for that's coming up in Strike Force?
I like the Cosmic Crucible rules right now, and I'm looking forward to the full 6-team season and see how that plays out. And I just got to say, I don't know how long this video was, but if you made it to the end, you better say, I made it to the end. Just type it right now in the comment section. Holy moly. Holy moly. Was it an hour? I don't even know.
An hour and 5 minutes. So,
okay,
you know, they say time
hour.
flies when you're having fun. This must have been the most boring experience for you, MobileGamer.
No, it was not, but it was an hour. Okay, boy.
All right, guys. Hopefully it wasn't as boring for you as it was for MobileGamer. Hopefully you enjoyed this. If you did, leave it a like. Check out some of the other videos. Check me out on social media. Check out mobile videos, MobileGamer's video that we're about to record right now.
I promise you my video won't be an hour long. It'll be a little bit shorter.
It'll be a shorter version of this. We'll talk about a few different points, some of these topics as well. All right, are you ready for a fist bump, Mobile?
Yes.
Yes. That was the most exciting yes ever. All right, here we go. Hog fist bump, ValleyFlyin, MobileGamer out. He's so tired. He doesn't even want to do a fist bump.